Okay,
Okay, I got
thank
it.
you all. Okay, Leo, let's get
Yeah,
back.
so talking about current things and looking back, some of the work that I've been doing now, I've actually gone back to bringing back into my work images from the 70s and 80s and weaving them. I'm still weaving, but weaving them back into my work. And then also including a lot of fiber from our garden, because that's the garden has been growing and looking really nice. And so my husband's been doing, he's the garden person. So it's his artistic creativity. So anyway, that's what's been interesting in terms of my work. And I'm just doing smaller pieces and I'm working slower. When I look back at this long period of my career, it's exhausting to see what I've done. I mean, it's amazing to see what you've done over the years. It's just, but right now I'm just trying to be more in the present. And I'm in a show at the Seeger Gray Gallery called Material Matters. And it has it's open now. And this Sunday there's an artist opening for the artist at from 3 to 5 at Seeger Gray Gallery in Mill Valley. If you want to go and, I don't know, see the show and talk to people. So that's, there's a lot of things happening for me that have just, like Lulu said, things that just pop up. People find an image of my work someplace and they contact me. But one of the things is I'm going to receive this gold award from the American Craft Council. So they're doing a big, interview, and a
Right.
photographer to my studio, a photographer with a big camera. And she spent 2 hours photographing me in the studio. I can't imagine what they're going to do with it. But anyway, it's going to be a big deal. So that's kind of, I mean, it's nice, but it's a lot of work too. So
That's fantastic. Congratulations.
so that's about it.
Mary, how have you been faring with looking at the 80s and the work you did and how you got on with the art world at the time?
You're talking to me.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I had just quit teaching high school in San Jose, in Oakland, and I had gotten in a big car accident. So I got into graduate school in 1980 and worked with Marvin Lepowski. So, and then in 85, 86, I got the job teaching at San Jose State. So it was huge, lots of fun, and organized a lot of events. I'm most concerned about somebody helping me fix up old photos. I have a lot of slides, but I don't have really good digital ones from that period. And I have hundreds, thousands of slides. So it was a very pivotal, basically changed my whole life. The big accident. I got into AA. I actually just celebrated 38 years clean and sober. So it was like huge. That all happened in the 80s. So by 89, 90, I was a seasoned teacher at San Jose State and doing all kinds of other things. So, and now what's happening? I'm spending a lot of time working with weed and I love it. I'm learning so much. And Manoush and I are the new co-chairs, and Susan's the editor of the magazine, and our new magazine call is for the politics of empathy. So maybe some of you will consider at doing something, and we're doing presentations and Zoom on art and activism and art and education, and we're starting maybe another category too that includes art and consciousness or deep ecology. I'm not sure, we're still fiddling with titles. Susan might have some ideas. So that's taking, I'm learning how to do Google Docs and just a million MailChimps and Eventbrites and all kinds of stuff that I never thought I would care about. And then I'm working at Youth Spirit Artworks that's building the tiny village in East Oakland, and I'm going to be mosaicing a doorway of their new straw bale house. And I'm teaching mosaics and glass to really disabled, amazing young artists. So that's been fun. And I guess in the 80s, I was in the Soapbox Derby too, and Raymond Saunders sponsored Pink Pig. And I saw pictures of us passing alcohol to each other before we drove down this thing. And I guess the other thing that's happening is things are starting to pop up. I'm in a show for Dennis Leon at CCA. It's the last show, and at the CCA gallery, and it's honoring him and some of his students. So that's been kind of fun. And then Ted Cohen had designed a show for the Museum of Craft and Design of pieces that he liked, that he helped display in collectors' homes. So that's on show right now, and I have a piece on that. And then the Oklahoma City Museum has some pieces, because they're all from collections. And now people are calling me, they're the children of the people who collected my work. And they damage it and they want me to fix it for them. So,
For a price.
That's a
well,
lot.
I'm having, actually, I told them it's going to cost a lot, but that it would be a donation to Weed. So, and we need a new website. So if anybody, we have a vision of fixing our directory, and if anybody knows a wonderful web developer, a woman particularly, who could work with us to revamp our website, that's what we're looking for. We're going to find somebody perfect. So that's it.
Well, I think that what you just brought up at the end speaks to this real value of doing a video about your work and materials and process, because things are going to be damaged, whether it's someone who has broken, chipped, or it's the weather, or if it's water that's gotten in, or it's mold, whatever it is, there's going to be restoration, and there are going to be questions that come up. And if you can leave a record of how you were working, the materials you were using, the actual paints, surfaces, supports, everything, it's just really important for the work to have that kind of a record. And if you don't have someone to come into the studio with you, you don't have anyone there with you, you can do it yourself, just setting up your camera, your phone, your computer. You can get on Zoom as a single person and just record it. You can record it in your computer. It's so easy to do, and there'll be just some record there, whether it's 20 minutes or 30 or an hour, it's valuable. So I'm looking forward to receiving them all. Everyone is using WeTransfer now. You've all done it. And you can just send it to me and I will upload it. I'll be collecting them. I'll get all that information and all the links to Dennis. And eventually we'll have a page that will be an important resource, because we're doing it, you're doing it, not just for your own work, which is great, but also for the future when people want to know, what kinds of materials were available, what were the sources for the clay or the glass or the paint. It'll be useful for others as well. So it's really, really a good thing to do. I think I've repeated myself twice now, right? On that one.
And how long are you hoping these videos will be?
So my recommendation is to focus on 3 works, and they can be different media, or if you worked only in one medium, to pick from different periods of time, things that are distinctive. And if you're talking about one piece, You know, you can always talk about the changes that happened there or what you went to afterwards. So you don't have to like really script it in
Is
that
this-
sense.
Is this
And
for
I,
the
and I
80s
think,
or-
I think 20 to 40 minutes somewhere in
Okay.
there is a
Okay,
good,
great.
you know,
Is this for the 80s or is it for your whole career?
this is for the artist's materials videos. This is not a video about just one period of time. This is about materials and process.
I got
So
it.
you can talk about the different materials. You went from using just wools to having natural dyes to having synthetic dyes to working on this loom or changing with the computer and the effects it had. I mean, anything that relates to your work. So
Okay.
I really recommend it, and I want to emphasize this, that the artist documentation program has these wonderful videos of the artists talking about their work. And it's a great guideline.
Okay, thanks.
So I think my video that I have, and I have it in 2 segments, is probably 2 15-minute pieces, maybe 15 and almost 20 minutes. I don't remember now. It's been a few months since I made it.
And how do you find it?
How do you find my video?
Yeah, how do you
It's on
find
the
it?
YouTube, and it's on our YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel,
Okay,
Bay Area Women Artist Legacy Project.
From your website, you can click on it and, right? Our website.
Yes.
Jan, did you say there's a place we could go to sort of see how you do this? Or are we just supposed to figure it out?
Well, the artist documentation program is been doing this since 1990. And on their page, you'll see, I don't know whether there are 30 artists or 40, it's a whole page. And you can click on them and you can see everyone from Jasper Johns to contemporary, you know, Terry Winters, all of these people, Frank Stella. And you can see how they're talking about the materials and that they use with a conservator who's asking them. And that'll give you some idea of the issues that come up in conservation or for museum collections interest before they even acquire a work, to know what's entailed.
What was the link for those?
Artist documentation program. It's the Menil collection.
Yeah.
Does it go into the nuts and bolts for those of us who are behind on that? Of
Nuts-
the-
nut-
of
nuts and
making
bolts
the
of what?
video?
Sorry?
Of making the video?
No, these are the videos that they produced with the artists whose work is in their collection.
Oh, right, I'm wanting some free tutelage.
Well, they're, what do you want? What tutelage do you need? Ask me.
A guide of how to do this. I can certainly shoot it on my iPhone
Sure. That's what I did.
and then go to iMovie and,
No,
do
just,
that one?
well, I just uploaded it raw.
okay. Okay,
I just did it, you know, I put my iPhone next to my computer. I airdropped it onto my computer. I uploaded it to YouTube. But you'll send it to me with WeTransfer and I will upload it to our channel.
thank you, that's great.
Yeah.
I'll put the link for this documentation thing in the chat.
Okay,
you.
good.
Thanks, Mary.
I just looked it up.
So there's a question here. Could you go over the dates again? Which dates? Dates for the book?
Getting everything in.
Oh, April 1st. April 1st is for getting the text to SAS, the images to Carol.
Oh,
April 1st.
wrong. Sorry, it's wrong.
if you don't, I mean, I think if you've got someone who is going to be taking care of your work, and you know, a friend, a family member, a former student, anyone close to you that you can have in your studio and talk about your work. If you're not adverse to having someone in your space, I think this is really a terrific thing to do with someone else, just because they're looking at it from the outside and they will have some questions. So, you know, I wasn't going through my work with a conservator. I had my son there. Someone who doesn't know, who's never made a painting in his life. And it's just, it's useful to be able to look at something from the outside. You know, whether you're talking about, you know, paper or any materials that you can think of, there are changes over time. And anything that you can put out there is helpful, useful.
Okay.
Promotion code for what?
No, sorry. That was wrong. I pasted the wrong link.
Oh, okay,
I'm looking for the,
okay.
didn't copy.
Can I ask Lulu? Lulu, when did you start your trips? What year?
Oh, I think in the 90s.
In the 90s, okay.
My biggest thing that happened, I was showing a lot in the 80s, and then I became allergic to oil paints. I
And that's
think
when
in
you went to acrylics.
89 and everything ended because I couldn't teach anymore. I had no money. So there was a big break.
It didn't
You know,
hurt you.
I think that everyone is
It didn't
looking
hurt
at,
you.
everyone is looking at their work right now and what they're doing. So we're really involved in the studios and we're all active. What I would really love is if there were also some, it's hard to do, but to think about not being present. And if you're absent from the studio, right? What is your work going to need? And think about ways in which you can provide for the work and make some plans in terms of getting images labeled, you know. I mean, my computer has 1,000 JPEGs that don't have any names on the file other than IMG and a number. So those are all kinds of things that you can do, and they're huge tasks. No one wants to like scan 1,000 slides or label, 4,000 JPEGs. But if you just say one day a week, I'm going to spend 20 minutes doing this, and I'm going to be kind to my fingers or my hands, and then just put that to the side, that's something that's already secured. That's something that already is being taken care of. And it's good that there's the deadline in 2 weeks for the text for the 80s, because you want to get on with the 90s. Yeah.
Did you talk about the 80s, what you were doing? I mean, we all did. I don't know if you did though.
No, I didn't. So I had a little health issue just a year ago, little over a year ago. So what I did was I wrote my 80s and 90s statements, and I called, and I say, reach out to someone else in the group. I called Elizabeth. I said, can I send you these files? You don't have to like do a whole lot. Can my son contact you So my son knew to contact, someone in the group. And I got that set. And I made sure that my kids knew that there should be money put aside so that I could participate afterwards, no matter what happened, in the 80s book.
Good.
And I'm sorry to say, we look at this group, it is already diminished in numbers, and a lot of us are diminished, health-wise with the things that we can undertake. When we got together last, we heard from Jean and we heard from Leah. It's really the reality, real. It's not just about what might happen. So again, I'm astonished by a few things. One, as I mentioned, that there's work that didn't get exhibited, and I remember the shows I had. What do I remember? I remember what was on the announcement. I don't remember the other work that was in the show. I remember the work that was shown and that I was thinking about or talking about, and the other work that got left behind from one year to the next, because you're always showing the most recent work. Well, it was kind of lost to me. So this is a great time as you're going through setting up things that will help for a catalog raisonné. And we're lucky we don't have to have the involvement of a printed catalog raisonné, but you can have a basis of an electronic digital catalog raisonné that is easy to add to when you uncover things, when you find new things to put in there. When collectors are suddenly contacting you, I'm sure most of you, like I, have been donating work to auctions for years and years and years without any idea of who has acquired that work,
Right.
where it is, what condition it's in. And yes, those collectors are leaving their large houses, moving to smaller spaces, dying, and that's the progression. So does anyone have anything else they want to talk about before we bid each other adieu? Yeah. Elizabeth.
I'm unmuting myself. Well, I just want to also congratulate the 4 or 5 of this group that are going to be in the show that I'm curating with Robbie Abrams called Shimmer. It's all about water and in all its various forms and ways of approaching it. And we're going to have it concurrently in 2 venues. One is the gallery in Albany, Robbie's gallery, and the other is at June Steingart Art Gallery at Laney College. Many of you are familiar with that gallery as well. And I hope that you all get to see it. The invitational curated portion, which has come together really nicely, and will be at Robbie's gallery, and that's April 1st through 30th. And the reception is Saturday, right? Is that right? Saturday, April 9th. So many dates have changed. I either need more coffee or more sleep, but I'm goofing on the dates. And then the other June Steingart Gallery opening will be Wednesday, April 13th, both 3 to 6 p.m. We're planning on in-person get-togethers, but we'll just see how it goes. And both are really, really strong expressions of Bay Area and the greater Bay Area artwork from young and more mature artists. And I hope that you come and see it.
While announcements are happening now, I just want to point to Show Gallery is doing a fundraiser, Artists for the Ukraine. They've been selling artwork all week through Saturday and raising money. I think at this point they've raised over $13,000, and they're hoping to get to 20 by Saturday. So if you can gather friends and come on Saturday. They're having a final push and close for that. Whole nother topic that it's hard to talk about and think about, but also impossible to turn off the radio, I think. So I think that really sets us exactly here. We know that it is Thursday, March 17th. I forgot to put a date stamp on these video recordings, but it's been great seeing you. Thank you all for all that you do, for all the people in our communities. I know you all have so many important connections and give so generously. And I look forward to our next book documenting all that you did in the 80s. So thank you.
Thank you, Jan,
Thank you, Jan.
Carol,
Thank
and
you very
all of
much,
you.
Dan.
To everyone.
Bye,
A
everybody.
really good book.
A really good book.
I believe it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.